Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, on this episode of Bullet Points this morning, we are going to examine an opinion piece out of Indiana. Now, the reason we're covering this is because remember how it used to be common sense gun reform? Therefore, the Second Amendment, just common sense version? Yeah, that went out the window on this one, and we're seeing it increasingly more often. This author is openly calling for the repeal of the Second Amendment. I cannot wait to show you how this person proposes that we walk through this. They are a PhD after all, so we are clearly their inferior, so we need to learn at the altar of the leftism that this person represents. Of course, I'm being sarcastic because this is insane, but everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to walk you through this because it goes all the way from repealing the Second Amendment, confiscation of all firearms, you're now a criminal. Oh, it goes the whole gamut. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, SDI, made this video possible, and then we're going to hit it and hit it hard on the other side. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to repair and upgrade your own guns. If you're looking for a way to take your hobby to the next level, Sonoran Desert Institute can help. The online programs at SDI cover armor courses, gunsmithing, ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, and more. Plus, tools and materials are shipped to your door for hands-on practice. It's never been a better time to get an education that you can actually use on the job. So what are you waiting for? Visit sdi.edu in the description box below, and thank you so much to SDI for making these videos possible because we can do things like this. All right. Now, this is a viewer submission. If you have an article or an opinion piece or anything you think would be helpful for the channel, live at langleyfirearmsacademy.com is how you can reach me. That's my public address. Let's hit it. We got to talk about this, and this author is hiding nothing. Check out the title. Column. Firearms have no place in civilized society. We should repeal the Second Amendment. Paul Shriver, guest columnist. This is from the 25th. This is about a week and a half ago. And this came out of Indiana, okay? Because Indiana just became constitutional carry, which clearly pushed this guy beyond the pale, all right? Check this out. This has got all of it. Constitutional carry. What a euphemistic newspeak concept. Okay. Newspeak? Is the left really talking to us about newspeak? Passed to the governor for signature a day ahead of announced schedule, depending largely on his political ambitions, not merit or lack for passage. Next probable and equally logical step, unregulated firearm ownership for every man, woman, and child in America. Well, I mean, it's only like their constitutional right. Okay, let's keep going, because he's just getting started. Biden and the anti-gun lobbyists pussyfoot around the only real issue. He said it, not me. The, quote, right itself, while insanities are amuck and lunatics run the asylum. We seem precariously balanced on a fragile tipping point. The time seems right and essential for a total reboot as the only sensible solution to the gun violence problem, gun violence being a redundancy. Now, this author is going down the point of, we're losing. We're on a tipping point. That's what he means. The tipping point is gun control is failing because it is a failed policy. But that's what he's referring to. So, the response to gun control failing is to just get rid of guns completely. Drop the repose and just get it. That's what this person is saying. Let's keep going. Now, going to gun violence being a redundancy. Because this, talk about newspeak. Firearm use is by definition a violent act. Homicide when a human is the recipient and has no place in civilized society. So, firearm use, shooting a firearm is a violent act. Not a chemical process turning a solid into a gas through fire, which then propels a projectile out of a metal barrel. No, that's not a chemical process. That's not transferring of energy. That's violence. So when you drive a car and gas goes from a liquid to a gas form and then is combusted into energy, is that violence? So any type of chemical transaction or reaction is violence. Is that what this author is saying? Nothing ever invented is easier to obtain or more lethal with less effort than a firearm. Okay, that's crap. No reasonable person could possibly imagine the expressing one's feelings or opinions with a bullet could be equivalent to free speech or even as a right on the same piece of paper. So basically, flat out saying, Second Amendment is not equal to the First. It doesn't protect the First. Our country was not founded by the Second Amendment. It was not founded out of the right to bear arms. It was not founded out of the idea of we fighting a colonial power. Nothing like that. No. Freedom of speech, even though the idea was we weren't allowed to have freedom of speech and we were taxed without representation. All of our rights didn't exist, but damn it, they shouldn't be on the same piece of paper. Do you see how, the lack of logic and understanding? The only real solution must begin with the repeal of the Second Amendment in its entirety and without delay. First of all, good luck, boo-boo. It might then be rewritten in clear language as a privilege to be strictly regulated. So no longer a right, now a privilege. Kind of funny how that facade drops, isn't it? The details to be worked out later by usual democratic means. Later. No, details aren't important. We're just going to repeal it. Alarm bells, anyone? This would include specifics as to legal and reasonable legitimacies of uses, manufacture, sales types, and related products. Reasonable, a subjective term. I wonder whose reason he's referring to, mine or his. In the interim, of course, all guns in current ownership, manufacture, storage, etc. would need to be recalled, if not re-legalized. Notice how he said recalled, not confiscated, because that's what that word means. Some current types and uses would be restored, regulated, and licensed as appropriate with little real inconvenience. Thus, the idea is not as anti-gun per se, nor in any sense extreme. It is extreme anti-gun. That is what that is. This guy is trying to play word games. He's openly calling for the repeal of the Second Amendment and confiscation of a freedom stick. All right, and this is how unintelligent this guy is. This is how he wraps this up. Oh, here we go. Meanwhile, in my own personal gun, locked, no bullets, single action and not very accurate, and therefore little threat, remain very truly yours for peace, goodwill, and universal disarmament in our times. So this guy who's preaching to us about the dangers of firearms is telling me that a firearm is less dangerous if it's less accurate. Any firearm owner, any gun culture, any person involved in the Second Amendment movement at all knows that every single firearm has a propensity for damage and is therefore a dangerous object, which needs to be treated with respect and control. Is coming out and saying, well, it's not accurate, and I know more, so it's not very dangerous, and so we should just repeal all Second Amendments. And that's what I've got for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.